Oh, hey, hi there. Hello there. How's it going, everybody? It's Patricia Ann Landon Regali coming at you from a private, undisclosed place in the great United States of America. So, how's it going? I can't hear myself. My ears like the covering, but I'm like, I have to be able to hear myself to be able to concentrate, apparently. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing, everybody? Are we behave? Well, at the time of this recording, it is December 19th. Okay. Yeah, somewhere in there, okay? And what's the date? Today's Tuesday. Okay, yeah, it is the 19th. So, oh man, we're getting close to Christmas, aren't we? How many gang stalkers out there do we have that have been busy flipping that blood coin, huh? I mean, how many community public servants do we have out there that know about the gang stalking? And still yet, nobody comes to bridge my ambiguity with any truth. You know why? Because you guys are lazy fuck bastards, rat bastards. But how many of you gang stalkers have already flipped your gift card with all that government grubbing, huh? I'm like, okay, you guys are really trolling for death, aren't you? Because unless I stood up and had decided to speak out against the goddamn cesspool, that's the little militia, how many politicians have decided to make abolishment of gang stalking their cornerstone of altruism? Well, that's because they're lazy fucktards just wanting the glory of being in office without really servicing to be the public servants they signed up to be. I mean, you have subjective objective protocol for many a business, for many a hospital, for many a role within the community. How many police departments out there do we have that actually have subjective objective protocol for the targeting of an individual to save them? Not to target them, but to save them. Which is the same goddamn thing as gang stalking. A big fat zero? Well, that's because we are in historical times within the framework of our era. I mean, this business has been so covert. A lot of people are denying it, and a lot of people are social engineered to believe stalking happens only singles at a time, but never ever by groups. Okay, you whitewashed sheeple, or you whitewashed perpetrators that love to get your goddamn palms greased by the detriment of others, by the psychological attacks of others, by the orchestration on other people's lives. I mean, who does that? It's so diabolic, isn't it? Oh, that's because it is the diabolic populace that's managing that. It's your covens, honeys. I mean, you might as well pretend, what's a coven? Covens are a myth. Oh my god. I even had one fool ass gang stalker comment that the Oregon Trail of Tears is a myth. Is a motherfucking myth. I mean, isn't that just ludicrous to say? Well, look at it this way. They're trying to whitewash history. And how many fool asses are going to believe that in another 20 years? I mean, come on. The whole reason why the Berlin Wall was taken down was to erase it from history. I mean, how many people really recognize the detriment of what the Berlin Wall stood for? Because if you haven't been socially engineered to have it whitewashed from your mental status, that's exactly what's happening here. Consider the Berlin Wall and everything it stood for a replay in America right now. There's a gentleman that has a YouTube channel, Neo-American Stasi. I'm like, dude, I haven't researched him yet, but his video was cut out like 2 years ago, so I'm hoping that he's alive. So at any rate, there is your, oh my God, there is your beautiful Christmas present. I mean, while you're busy lining, your trees with presents and everything, you guys need to be lining your trees with wisdom and knowledge. Because, and I have a lot of mad respect for people lining their trees with gifts of, that are made from the heart. But unless you interlace your gifts from the heart with wisdom, what is that going to get you? You people should be talking about how to prevent Auschwitz from, becoming a total full-blown concentration camp with walls. I mean, because there are 900 FEMA prison camps as we speak. And, the gang stalking, that's so pre-K. Because, unless you were out there teaching your children the wisdom of what to look out for, teaching your children the wisdom to not participate, if you just remain with it, you're the perfect bait. You're the perfect reason, cause of what allows it to proliferate. So while you're out there lining your trees with the gifts that are physical and palpable and tangible, you guys need to be lining your trees with the wisdom of how to keep America great, how to keep these covens from taking over. And you politicians, you have an accountability not only to the public, to teach, to make sure everybody is learning about this gang stalking. And if you're not, that's because you're lazy. That's because you were only there in office to make a name for yourself instead of build into society. Instead of build in to what our patriot forefathers were all about. I mean, isn't it a lot easier just to get your palms greased by low-lying fruit rather than teach your family about the covens out there? I mean, to teach your family about how to protect yourselves. I mean, why are you going to give kids and teenagers prophylaxis and teach them about where not to put their penis and where not to put their vajayjay if you're not going to teach them how to maintain safety psychologically by protecting themselves from the propaganda, the gang stalking issues? I mean, they're out there saying the Oregon Trail of Tears is only a myth, and you have your police departments out there going, what's gang stalking? Because it only happens in singles. I mean, okay. If this covert war burgeons, and then everything goes to martial law, you have no one to blame but yourselves. Why are you going to protect your family when you got families out there right now that are part of the covens, that are sowing family curses and family generations of trauma just for those kids to grow up and then act the narcissist, monster, demonic vessels for the low-vibing entities that they serve and feed in their satanic rituals? Because what you have these are generations, 25 years of generations that have had satanic practices a part of their family that have decided to proliferate right out in the open practically. But then what did you do to help protect the wisdom that virtue brings for the family as a unit? If you're bridging it materialistically and you haven't even decided to bridge it psychologically, you're pushing the 8-ball. And then you have politicians out there that are like, oh my God, you know what? I've got these wonderful, wonderful ideas for the budget. Bitch, what kind of budget did you have to abolish gang stalking? What date did you set forth to make sure the gang stalking had come to an end, and that the covens are being dismantled, and that FEMA is being dismantled, and InfraGard and Citizen Corps is being dismantled. Because you got about 66,000 employees in them that are fucking gang stalking. And you take that number and times it by 3 loosely, boom, there's your statistics. So, America, please be encouraged to not only stuff your stockings with the most wonderful gadgets, but those gadgets aren't going to mean a goddamn thing unless you proliferate it with wisdom. Wisdom how to stay safe. Wisdom on how not to entertain these covens. Basically, how to be ethical. If you can be ethical, you're going to be okay. But even being ethical, you're still going to have the psychological know-how how to deconstruct these fool-ass, psychotic street theater. Because these bitches over here are training their children how to be psychotic on the down low to get their own motherfucking way. And then whenever you decide that you're going to have to take a family member to your hospital, to your doctor's offices, if you think that the Neo-American Stasi is not present in your healthcare system, you're duped. You're fooled. You are having spiritual narcolepsy, not to mention psychological narcolepsy with respect to wisdom. So, you can give your child the bestest of gifts, but if you're not giving your child the wisdom because you're denying access of it to yourself, and you're being irresponsible to not even teach the covert war that we have going on right now, I'm telling you, it is alive in every street, every side street. You don't even realize it's there. But I promise you, your Neo-American Stasi, they know it's there. And in every apartment complex, you got bitches running game and targeting the individuals. And most of them don't even want to speak up because it's like this, well, I really need the money because I have a sick daughter and they really need their medicine. I'm like, okay, so in what spiritual aspect does it make sense to earn coin that was flipped off the detriment of somebody else just so you can take that blood money and then pour it into the investment of somebody else's vessel within the healthcare? You're not going to get the same output. So it is everybody's accountability to wake up to the detriment of society that we have right now in the streets right now. Because really, these assholes who are organ trafficking, in these trap houses, I don't even think that their victims get the courtesy of being knocked out in the head in lieu of anesthesia, let alone in lieu of, say, in lieu of midazolam or Versed, without them gutting them right there, because these are bloodthirsty maniacs. They organ traffic right out of trap houses, honeys. And if you think I'm making it up, well then you're just living in a fantasy land that was constructed to ease your mind into complacency, to keep you dumbed down, and to keep you from rising up and doing something about it while you have the chance. And then whenever all of this proliferates, because if you think that the 25 years of invested covert war of citizen against citizen is absent, they didn't do it without intention of burgeoning that. I know everybody's heard about, my mind is just blanking. Well, but basically, everybody has heard about, it's just a very basic term that's escaping from me. But at any rate, all of this bullshit that you hear about on the news and everything, it all ties in together. The goal of all of this, covert warfare, covert communism, is aimed at making covens and satanic worship the norm. I mean, as it is, how many of you are complacent enough not to even line your tree with the wisdom of what the covert war is about and what is going on? I mean, because these assholes go to church on Sunday, and then they pick off the congregation during the church. And, you know, I mean, these guys are fucking demonic witches and warlocks. Okay, if you don't believe in the spell work, that's fine. But they're still undermining you. They're still befriending you. They're two-faced, duplicit-ass bitches that are psychologically warped because they were born into satanic practice. And those lost souls are on the rise. So if you're not even lining your tree with the wisdom and how to protect yourself, or, you know, you can teach your kids all you want about, you know, sex education. What good is the sex education going to do if they're not even selecting the right mate? Because, for instance, Dick Tracy #1, I don't even know his name. I don't even know his name. How do I know him? Because of my discernment, my intuition, and and from the many YouTubers that I have been studying that I resonate with, in which I am part of their collective. I'm doing my best to keep everybody noted in their due credit. If you want to see who I connect with, go to my Facebook, facebook.com/bellyfiredancer. The ones I have listed there are the ones I resonate with. And so I'm still learning to give due credit where I can. But if you want to know the meats and potatoes, go there. A lot of my videos have been done under duress. So it's been now that I've been able to actually step up my video editing to the criteria of what I'm used to. But I have been surviving a white glove holocaust out there. And then it's kind of like, you know, all the Jews being sent to the concentration camps in World War II. What do you think their neighbors were doing? Do you think their neighbors were hiding their heads in the sand? And if one of those bitches escaped, I was like, oh my God, they're killing people left and right over there. Y'all gotta do something. Hide me, please. Help me, please. Oh my God, do something because they're after me. Oh my God, I've been doing that. And you know, it's like scroll. Okay, that is your right. And I respect that. But whenever it comes to bite you in the ass, you cannot say you were not warned. So, you know, make this new year the new year that you equip your family with the wisdom on how to protect themselves. Because all the gifts in the world aren't going to do anything if you're not governing the wisdom and how to protect your own family from protecting themselves from the goddamn covens. But at any rate, with regards to potential suitors, let's put it this way. If you had been privy to my videos and you have not even donated to my Cash App, I'm talking to these wealthy men out here, you know, wealthy men of monetary value, you can't expect. I'm not about gold digging, okay? You know, I've got these couple of gold digging assholes on my back that had the chance of being my kingdom spouse but denied me. That's fine. But once you deny me, that's it. I do not take second runner up for shit. I mean, because if somebody wants to be my king, you're gonna have to jump at the chance. Because when I like a guy, I'm like, okay, I want to jump at the chance. But just because if you have some fucking wealth in your own bank account and you think that's going to draw me in, I intend to build my own empires and my own legacies. Man, Dick Tracy #1, I offered you to come to me, you know, to build with me. You know, and if your karmic bitch wanted to, you know, your pet parasite wanted the money, I said, give it to her. Come to me empty-handed, we'll build together. You didn't want me. Okay. What? I mean, because, you know. And then Dick Tracy #2, you just fucking ignored me. Oh, I mean, you did more than that, okay? You were running spell work and collaborating with Dick Tracy #1. So, you could come in when you wanted and then try to rob me of my spiritual inheritance when that hits the account. And meanwhile, you're doing death and black magic. I'm like, yeah. that contract is null and void. I'll never go back to it. But here's the deal. You both had been monetary men of wealth, okay? And yeah, they were both gang stalking me. I know. But here's the deal. I would have accepted both of you guys at face value and helped, you guys rise from the bitch-ass gang stalking. And honestly, you would have had the anointing to go straight. And I would have stood by your side because I am obedient to the Most High. Plus, I found you, Dick Tracy #1, you were a twin flame. I felt the attraction. And, Jeff Weed, he was my twin flame #2. He didn't choose me because he decided that I just wasn't for him. That, and I don't do meth. And the girl that he ended up going with, Amber, don't even know her name or last name. Amber is because I deduct what because I'm cerebral as fuck. And she's got that pretty UK accent, but apparently she was insanely jealous of me. And you have these copycats that are trying to copy me, and I think that's cool and it's great because I enjoy being the impetus of somebody's creativity and inspiration, but it becomes a whole different nature. It becomes single white female whenever you're trying to kill me and trying to steal from me and then profit from my work pretending it's yours. That's when it becomes psychologically cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And just downright, dirty. Hashtag true story. And so everything I've gleaned has been from the ethers. I know Jeff Weed. That was it. When I figured out that he was there to, to be the spiritual assassin hitman to give me HIV, that was hired by Barbara Regali, Tim Regali, Paul Regali, and all of those motherfucker Regali, Rico loving people. Y'all, I can't believe you guys are that jealous of me. I figured you guys would have just left me alone like years ago, but it turned out they're the ones spearheading the goddamn slander circuit. And then Dick Tracy #1 and 2 end up collaborating with them. It's like, y'all looked in on my live, seen me firsthand. You couldn't figure out my my character by, firsthand witness, let alone do your own assessment, come talk to me? Okay. Don't ever become paramedics because you would really suck at it. But besides that, you guys couldn't figure out pristine pussy from a fish fry in a goddamn brown paper bag. Had the Most High just dropped it on your lap. He kind of did, didn't he? You bought into the slander. And it's like, it doesn't matter if somebody lies to you. It's your accountability to be accountable for your own information and to do your own assessment. So, it's never anybody's fault whenever you believe somebody's lies. That's your fault because you have an accountability of discernment. You have an accountability to figure out the truth for yourself. And it doesn't matter if it's somebody that you believed or not, that you trust. It doesn't matter. You still have an accountability to do your own research, to do your own soul searching. Otherwise, it's like a goddamn witch hunt, And then I know you guys really need the slander to be true. So if it's not true, you guys try to take a round peg and shove it in a square hole. I'm like, okay, whatever. And so me as a person, I've had to dig my heels in deep and depend and, really rely on my faith in God. And so I didn't know that I'm an earth angel until maybe sometime this year, and I'm just going to keep that topic alone for now, but I'm sticking to the fact that these guys are coven people. I didn't know it until sometime this year, and by the time I left Jeff Weed and closed that cycle, I did it on the note of realizing that him and Tim Regali were collaborating, you know, and then the rest burgeoned from there, of which I gleaned my information from the wonderful YouTubers of which I resonate with, you know. And then I've had to draw in my conclusions from there. And I give the credit by posting their videos on my Facebook and by directing you guys to take a look at it. So at any rate, I leave you with this. As you prepare for Christmas and as you prepare for, you know, gifting your family with the wonderful value from your heart in the form of gifts, you need to equip them with the wisdom and how to stay safe, because these covens are on the rise, and you guys need to know what is in store for you if you just keep your head in the sand. But peace out for now, with much love from Patricia Ann Land and her galley, Chief Little Flower, coming at you from a private undisclosed place in the United States. I wish you all well. Namaste for now.